with an epoxy site. I insisted on the owner having her husband in the meeting. I said, he has to be there. Well, I can make a decision on my own. I understand that, but he's your partner. He has to be there on the meeting. And she did. We had to reschedule a couple times. And I knew that she was not completely on board, but I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go through with this. And we got on the meeting and I'm like, here's my price. It's, $650 a week, basically, take it or leave it. What's your decision? She's like, yeah, at this point, I'm not ready to pull the trigger on this much money. I'm like, well, you closed the deal already from the job that I sent you. So it kind of makes sense. I'm selling you the potential here. I'm not selling you the money itself, but I'm selling you the potential of money if you're a good salesperson. And the husband just gets into the frame finally. He's like, hey, my name is Eric, by the way. He was just hiding the whole time. And then he's like, hey, can I take a minute with my wife real quick? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then they put him on mute and they talk, they get back on. They're like, yeah, let's do it. What are we talking about here? Let's go. She said no. Yeah. She was like, I can't do it. And then he jumps in and that changed the whole thing because I insisted on him being on the call.
Yeah, man. That's a really good close story, right? You fought the temptation to just be like, all right, it's okay. Like, I'll just talk to you, right?
Yep. And I didn't think I was going to get this deal. Like, I had a bad feeling about this deal. And I was right because she was not fully on board. Even though I did pull back messages and all that stuff, you're like, yeah, definitely want to try it out. Let's jump on this call. But then, when she got on the call, she was like, no, this ain't for me. And thank God the husband was there.
You know what? That's an interesting deal too, because we've been really like focusing on sales a lot right now. We're actually hiring another closer, and we just hired 3 more appointment setters. So totally, we're gonna have 2 closers and 4 setters. So I mean, it's a little scary right now, right? Because like I'm taking on like this big budget. We got to train a new closer. Yeah. So I've been really like thinking about sales a lot recently. So, but like that's an interesting case right there, because bringing it back to this business model where you're giving them the Costco leads for free and they've closed the deal, like how much more evidence you need, right? So you've got the logical part covered, right? But why was she skeptical? And that was more of her emotional part, right? There was something about her that didn't trust you, right?
Absolutely.
It's not like it's your fault, right? Really, or I guess it could be your fault, right? But like for whatever reason, she was suspicious. Maybe she got burned from Angie's or whatever, right? And so like even though she sees the facts, the emotions aren't there, so she's not ready to go. So like I think that's something to think about when you're doing a sales, is like how do you navigate the emotional side. I think that's just as important as like the logical side, because it doesn't make sense, right? You've already seen it, you've already tasted it, you know what it tastes like, right? Here's the price, this is what you get. Like what else is there to talk about?
No, you're spot on, man. Logically she was on board, emotionally she was not, and the husband completed that part. He kind of gave her peace of mind, like this is doable. The numbers take care of the logical part, the math makes sense, but then you have to actually woo them or show them that what is the outcome of all this stuff, all this money that you're invested. And if you can visualize it for them, they're like, oh yes, this is exactly what I want. I want to be at like $750K a year. Or if you can visualize it for them, they'll be on board. And that's where the husband was. He was there. I managed to get him, even though he was not in the frame.
Maybe he was just more of a logical thinker, so he was just like, all right, like for me, I'm super logical, right? If you're gonna sell me, like I get offended. Maybe I mean, I've been in the game for so long, right? So like if you start using sales tactics on me and stuff, like I can see them all, right? Because I've studied this stuff, right? So it's like, bro, just tell me the numbers, and like like if I'm gonna make money, let's go, like, but
and like I get that. I get that with some contractors too, because sometimes I'll get on a call and they're like, I get all that stuff that you talked about in the video. I'm like, the screencast makes sense. Yeah, I know all that stuff. I already do Google ads. I just got on the call for you to give me a number so we can get started. I've had that a couple times where people are like, I understand everything you're doing. I like it. Can we get to the numbers? And I'm like, all right, let's get to the numbers, I guess.